Hello beavers, hello people, welcome to the Hollows, welcome to Timberborn, a beautiful new day in our Folktails colony on this map. Now we are in cycle 3, a drought is approaching in 2 days, but we shall be well prepared for that. In my first video I set up like the basics, so I decided to focus on this area down here, create a dam to keep this irrigated, and we are growing carrots on the left side, having a forestry on the right side. Over here our housing area with some well-being amenities like the campfire, rooftop terrace, the inventors producing the science, some basic industrial area. And later on we even managed to build this water reservoir to store more water with those floodgates, so that's great. And over here we even managed to prepare for our first bed tide that might happen after the drought or in the next cycle, that's what I want to say. So once the bed tide happens, we can sort of let the bed water flow in that direction out of the map and keep this land irrigated. So hopefully that will work, we shall see about that. The last thing I was doing is sort of expanding the industrial area with the gear workshop. But to run the gear workshop we will need more power, and that's why I decided to add a couple of water wheels as well. And I actually received a good comment about this, thank you very much for that again, that we could narrow this channel, and that way the water would like flow a bit faster, thus producing more power with those water wheels. So I'd like to maybe tweak this just a little bit. Let's actually remove this platform, and instead I'm going to put like a couple of levees there and even a bit more over in that area. I mean, I'm still just considering this setup like temporary solution, because eventually I'd like to make the bed tide diversion system on top of this, and that way I would like to use this area to grow more trees and farming and whatnot. So I think I will like later on want to move the industry somewhere else. I haven't decided where just yet, but I'm still sort of thinking we will need to use this for quite some time, so I might as well get these levees over here and get more power out of our water wheels. Seems like a good idea after all. Other than this, we also have this wall being slowly constructed over here. This is something I'd like to get done in order to raise the water level in our canyon, so that we can store even more water for longer droughts and longer bed tides. So we will need to build those levees to raise the terrain. We will need a couple more on the other side. We could even plan this already, something like that I suppose should do. We will of course need to replace these floodgates with double floodgates so that the water level could go higher. But that's really a long-term project. Like for now, we shall be perfectly fine with the water stored in here. Alright, so let's maybe get through the night, see how long the drought shall be. Also, to prepare for the drought, I'm again going to pause a couple of water pumps. I will keep just one running. And I will also need to unpause the power wheel again. However, this is going to produce only 50 power, so we can have just one lumber mill going during the drought. Alright, the drought is here, 7 days long, so that's not that bad. It's a bit longer than the first one. We shall be perfectly fine. And well, what I'd like to do next is actually have a look at those ruins and where can we get some scrap metal to start some basic metal production eventually. So I was debating like these ruins over here or these ruins over there, and then I decided to go for these ruins first, as I feel like it's going to be easier and cheaper like on the resources, because I can see like to get up here this cliff is rather high. We will need a lot of platforms and then we will need to get up here and get there. While on this side I think this is going to be a bit easier because the terrain is like layered and we can use like a couple of stairs get down. So I'm going to start planning a path up there. Alright, so let's maybe start from these ruins. So we will like get there and then we will need a couple of stairs to go down. We need to cross this Bedwater river. So alright, we will need like a double platform actually over here. Well, let's unlock the double platform. We can afford it with the science. Okay, so we will get the air surge. Alright, and over here we shall get down. So the double platform again needed over here. Some more stairs down and alright. I think we could go this way. It's going to be very far away, but well, that's just how it is. I feel like I want to unlock the zip lines rather early. Seeing how those ruins are so far away, I feel like zip lines early on will help a lot and the beavers will not need to walk that far away. So I can see we are slowly building these water wheels as well as the gear workshop. Alright, very good. Let's keep building then. This shall be set up for the next temper season. The construction work continues, but we are sort of out of logs right now. Which isn't so surprising. I mean, each levee requires like 12 logs. The water wheels, it was 50 logs each, so I suppose that just happens. Still though, I would like to have a look in this area because we prepared the irrigation pond to bring some water in here with the fluid dump, and I think it might be time to unlock that. Prepare it over there. Let's maybe focus on that. Also, I can see that the water down here irrigating our carrots is just evaporating right now. But luckily this time we can open the floodgates. Let me speed it up a little bit. Refilling the water. I suppose that's enough. Okay, let's close the floodgates. And we can keep going. Very good indeed. Right, so we shall have the flow dam over here. Then hopefully this will irrigate most of this area. So I would like to also get another forester, so that he can reach both of these areas. I guess like that. Can prolong the path. Alright, and maybe move those lumberjacks around there somewhere. Okay, seems good. Now I know that the land will be contaminated in this area because the bedwater will still like flow through here. But I was thinking later on, once we get the metal, we can unlock the contamination barrier and build it over here. So that shall stop the contamination from spreading into there. But for now, let's just start with some oaks over here. I think there it shall be safe from the contamination for now. I might keep some space for a path later on. I'm not sure if I will need it, but just in case. And we can already see with just a little bit of water over here, the land is irrigated way over there. So very good, we shall get more oaks then in this area. And as the temperate season is back, we can wait for the bed water to start flowing and just see how far the contamination will go. Also, to prepare for the temperate season, let's open the water pumps again. We can of course open the gear workshop, start producing some gears, open the second lumber mill, pausing the water wheel. Right, and the gear workshop isn't connected with the path actually, that's probably a good idea to do. And now I feel like we need to pause something because we need a lot more beavers than what we have. So for now, let's pause a couple of inventors. And right, we don't have any builders. Well, that's not really great. I would like to get at least one builder. So do I have lumberjacks? Yeah, there is one lumberjack. It can be paused. And who else really? Alright, so now we have at least one builder. Okay, so let's go with that. Hopefully we can grow the population a bit more. We still have the lodge over here. Maybe I could get like another one. Not sure. I don't want to go too crazy on the population growth because, well, the water is really the limit of what we can have and how many beavers can survive. But alright, let's maybe get one more lodge over here. We can really use more beavers. Very well, the water is back, so we can start storing the water in our reservoir again. Right, and the bed water is flowing, so I can see the contamination actually reaching all the way there. So let's clear the planting area. Yeah, we really need the contamination barrier. I feel like we can have a couple more oaks on this side though. At least something. Right, and the contamination is even killing these trees, so let's clear that for now. Now, as the first gears are being produced, we shall get the storage for those. At least a small warehouse, let's say. Might get a couple over here, so that the production can keep going. In the beginning, we will not need like that many gears. For the medium tank, which I'd like to build, we need 20 gears, so that's not that far away. And one thing I'd like to also rebuild during the temperate season before the next drought starts is actually these dams over here. I'd like to replace those with floodgates, because the dam, it sort of holds the water up to, I believe it's like 0.6 or 0.65. And with these floodgates we can set it up manually to raise the water level even higher and store more water. So I'd like to probably get down through there. And let me start replacing these. I need to pick up the rubble, don't want to waste the resources. Alright, and where is it? Floodgate. It's a high priority. And I can see we are already having 18 gears, so we can unlock the medium tank, 120 science. And we shall have all the resources needed to build it, and let's have one right there, storing more water. Very good. Also, I wanted to check these water wheels. So with these levees narrowing the channel, I can see that now it is producing 130 power. Before it was producing just 104, I think. So we got like 30 more power out of each of these wheels. That's not bad, a slight improvement. And actually another drought is approaching. Alright then, we will not get the first bad tide. That's fine. We shall be able to survive the drought. We are storing even more water with these floodgates. And how is this looking? Beaver still bringing in some water. Okay, so I'm going to let him do the job, and these lumberjacks can be paused for now because we need to plant those oaks first. With the drought approaching, one thing I also wanted to do is unlock the lever. Now we can afford to build it with those gears. And let's have one maybe right there. So I would like to automate the water pumps. And I should be able to pin the lever right there. And let's actually build it first. Okay, let me put this on like a lower priority so that they can get the lever. Okay, thank you, beavers. Right, so now this is off, and if I automate the water pump, I can see that the water pump is automatically paused. The blue circle indicates that it is automated. And now I can just come over here, lever on, pumps are on, pumps are off. So that's good to do for those like drives. I can just use the lever to turn this on and off. And I should also rename the lever, and let's say this is for pumps. Okay, I like that. I could use another lever for this power wheel because I want the power wheel to be basically open during the drought, unlike the water pumps. So we could even unlock the relay actually. This is only one plank, one gear. Can have it right there, set it to not function, so we are going to like negate the signal out of the lever, and then we can connect this power wheel with the relay. And basically that means if this is on and we have the pumps on, then the power wheel is off. So that's what I'm going to do for during the temperate season, right? And during droughts I'm going to turn it off and the power wheel will turn on. So I think some basic automation setup like that. Pretty excited about the automation. It's still a new thing for me, added with the latest huge update. So I want to play with that a little bit more. Well, our medium tank is ready, which is great to see. I would like to get another one, so I think I will get one down here actually. So I'm going to start emptying these small tanks. And looking at the carrots storage, I feel like we might need another warehouse. So I'd like to start stacking this, and let's get a couple of platforms with a path. And we could even get another one right there. As the drought is starting on the very next day, I was also thinking for the automation, we can even use the same lever for our gear workshop and our lumber mill, because we can't really run those during the drought as we have only one power wheel for now. So let's see it in action, right? We are going to turn this off, and I can see automatically both pumps are off, the lumber mill is off, the gear workshop is off as well, and now the power wheel shall go on, but it's not. Right, because it's manually paused. Okay, so the building needs to be like unpaused manually in order for the automation to work. So just my little mistake over there, but still I can see it work. Much easier to do it this way than clicking on every single building. Okay, and we actually have 10 days drought, so that's a pretty significant increase, I would say. But hopefully we'll still be fine. I'm going to even raise the floodgates already. I think we shall be able to keep the water over there. Okay, it's flooding just a little bit, but that shall be good. So 10 days, alright. That's the longest drought so far. Hopefully we will be fine. Right, and pausing all those buildings means we have a couple of unemployed beavers. So let's open the inventors again. Very good. I'm also going to actually automate the fluid dump with our lever. Because again, this is something I'd like to keep running only during the temperate season. Hopefully for the drought, the pond shall be fine and keep everything irrigated. And we even have one more unemployed beaver, so maybe let's get one more inventor going. We'll put the workplace priority in here as the lowest, just in case we have some unemployed beavers. And let's maybe just chop down the last 3 over here. Okay, and the stairs I can see already all the way there. So now we just need to cross this. Yeah, we need those planks. Unfortunately, the gear production eats quite a lot of those planks we are producing. And even though I have 2 lumber mills, I can see it's not really enough to store some planks for construction purposes. So I feel like I might get another lumber mill actually. Of course, I will not be able to run it during this drought. But once the temperate season comes back, shall be able to keep it going as well. So let's build that. And maybe because these droughts are only getting longer and it's not very beneficial or effective to keep pausing all the industry during the drought, we should think about how to improve this. Well, I'm sort of looking over here, the power tab, that we might want to unlock at least the small wind turbine. It's not the best, like obviously the large wind turbine is much better, but we would need more than 1000 signs to unlock that, while the small wind turbine is just like 120, costs just logs and planks. For the large one we would need gears and even paper. We are not producing that, so I think I'm going to get like a couple of these back in this area, I would say. And this can help at least a little bit. These wind turbines, the thing is, they don't work all the time. It depends on like the wind in the game, which is not visible and we can't like do anything about it, but there is some sort of wind going on. And their power output depends on the wind. It's sort of random, so it's best to have a gravity battery as well. And while the wind turbines are not working, we can use the power stored in the battery. However, to build that we will need the metal again. So really, for now all we can do to improve this anyhow is just getting those wind turbines. Let's focus maybe on at least this one. And then, yeah, slowly getting towards the scrap metal. I think that's really the next step that's going to help us a lot. And this guy already chopped down the last tree, so let's pause him again. I can see the oaks are almost gone as well. We have just one more to chop down and then a few more that will grow up. And as we have another unemployed beaver, I'm actually going to open one lumber mill. Okay, let me remove the automation for now. It can be open again, and hopefully with the wind turbine we can produce more planks. And these small tanks are empty, so let's maybe plan the medium tank over here as well. I mean, I will still need like 10 more gears to actually build this, but we can at least prepare it over here. Very well, the wind turbines are ready. I can see they are somewhat working, producing like 119 power each of those. so this helped with the planks production. You can see the beavers were even able to build the stairway to those ruins. So that's very good because now we can unlock the scavenger flag, 250 science. We have that. And let's set up a couple on top of here. We can give them a large pile to store the scrap metal. And slowly but surely gathering those ruins. Again, this is very far away and those poor beavers will need to travel so far. They will probably get hungry and thirsty. But hopefully with the metal we can unlock those zip lines and help them with the distance. Okay, other than that, because, well, we didn't have that many planks and the industry was lacking a little bit, we had time to somewhat focus on finishing this part of the wall, trying to enlarge the water storage. And here I was sort of thinking that at first I designed the wall to continue in this area, but this is not really needed. I want to redesign this because I realized that, I mean, we will have the bed water in this area anyway, so I might as well just get those navies and close it like so, and that's just perfectly fine. And once we get a bit more science going on, we can also unlock a double floodgate, rebuild that, and eventually start using this area. Alright, so yeah, this is still like a low priority, but I think during the drought we can start working on that. Also, we have 2 more days of drought ahead of us. I can see that the water reservoir on top is almost empty. So I think I'm going to just open the floodgates entirely and just let the water flow down. We will not lose the water, that's for sure, with those 2 days. So I think the water reservoir helped a lot and we are surviving. I mean, pretty much no issues really. Everything looks good. Then again, I know that those droughts and bad tide will be more and more severe, so I still need to be careful. But for now, looking good. Also, good news over here. I can see that the first oaks we planted are starting to pop up. So that's really great because we can get even more logs. And I'm also going to clear planting area like for these pines, so that we can replant those with even more oaks. I might want to keep some pines because eventually we will need to collect the pine resin with the tapis shack to produce treated planks, but at least this area I think we can replant that. I don't think these trees are marked for cutting. Yeah, they are not. Well, let's maybe fix that. Okay, just chop down everything. Maybe I feel like we could even get another lumberjack with those oaks available. So let's do that as well. Very good. As the water evaporated in the upper reservoir, I can see that the irrigation pond only like reaches all the way there. So these are still like fine. I mean, they will die in 15 days, so it's like not happening right now. But once we hit those longer droughts, we might have an issue. I guess that's a problem for future me. I mean, we will have a larger water reservoir over here anyway at that point. Actually, let's probably pause the forester because he finished planting all those oaks and they need like 14 and 15 more days to grow. So yeah, let's do that. And as the temperate season is coming back, let's also see the automation in action again. So yeah, cycle 5 begins, pumps are on, the power wheel is off, the industry is on. Very good indeed. Also the flue dump shall be on, and indeed it is. This is just so good. I love that. That means though, yeah, again, not enough beavers to do everything. Alright, so I suppose I should automate like a couple of these inventors with the relay. causing not only the power wheel but also these inventors. That seems like a good idea. Well, do I need the beaver over here? I guess, okay, let's see. Yeah, well, these oaks are almost ready to be chopped down, so let's keep the beaver over here. He can finish this. That's fine. Maybe we can have just one scavenger for now. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, that's the beaver workforce distribution. Let's do something like that. Alright, a couple days passed. We can see we have injured beavers. So this is something that happened because, well, mostly the gear workshop, also because we have more lumber mills. You can see here there is a medium chance of injury in the gear workshop. For the lumber mill, there's only a low chance of injury. So how to help those beavers? Well, we need to go into well-being, unlock the medical bed. And let's build a couple of these. Probably around there somewhere. Nearby the housing area. And let's super prioritize that so that these poor beavers can just take a rest and fix their broken tail, I suppose. This guy has like a broken paw. Poor little beaver. Okay, let's fix those beavers just quickly with those medical beds. Unfortunately, this is going to keep happening with expanding the industry. We will get more injuries. Now we have our new medium tank ready. So I think I might even plan another one. And probably over here. Seems like it fits rather nicely. Also, the wall is prepared. So we shall be able to now replace these floodgates with the double floodgate. I believe we should have the signs. Yeah, it's 250 signs. We have 270. We can afford to unlock that. And let's demolish all these. I'm also going to super prioritize picking up the rubble. Those are valuable logs and planks that we can reuse for, well, the construction of these double floodgates, actually, I suppose. So let me get those. It's like a higher priority, so they can pick it up first and then build it. And, well, we have another drought approaching. So again, no bed tide. I'm somewhat surprised. Usually I feel like I get at least one bed tide within the first 5 cycles, but nothing we can do. I mean, I would sort of like to get the bed tide, because really with the bed tide, that's the point in the game when you see, I would say, the full potential of the map, like what is going to happen exactly, because what I'm doing for now is somewhat like preparing for what I think is going to happen, and I mean, I investigated the map, like if there are any those bed tide drains or some other things that would like screw us over during the bed tide, and I didn't see anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean there isn't anything. I might have overlooked something, and then we shall see that during the bed tide, so that's why I kinda would like to get one. But oh well, it's not happening yet. So we will need to deal just with another drought, that's alright. And okay, the beaver finished chopping down these oaks, so let's get rid of those. Also pick up those logs. Then I was sort of thinking of getting the holding post. I think it might be a time, although we would still need a couple more beavers to really use it. But I'm going to build it anyway. So the holding post is pretty good because the beavers, the haulers, they sort of help bringing all the sort of resources from like one building to another. So they will help with the water pumps by like transporting the water into our water tanks, and the pumpers can focus on pumping. They will help those lumber mills bringing in logs. So again, the beavers inside the lumber mill can just focus on producing planks. So having these haulers really nice, and they even have like this carrying capacity increased, right? So they can just carry more than, well, I don't know, ordinary beavers, or how to say. So I would like to get like at least a couple of haulers to start with. And as we expand the population, we might get more. And right, the drought is approaching, so we shall really focus on building these floodgates, right? So that we are not losing the water. Okay, let's super prioritize that. And well, we have 2.5 days to build it. I might need to increase the working hours a little bit. Okay, let's keep working today for 20 hours. I'm sorry, beavers. I hate doing this. I just hate myself for doing this, but we just need to build it. I'm sorry, we just need to build it. And we are almost there. I'm sorry I had to put those long working hours again. We have one last day. I would still like to store some water over here, so let's bring just a couple more logs over here, please. Where are the builders? Oh, they are coming. 2 more logs. Oh, we didn't finish it. Okay. Okay. I need to increase the working hours. He just brought the logs, but didn't actually hammer it. Oh, this is my bad. Okay, I don't think this is happening. Can anyone come? Probably not. Okay, there it is, but it's sort of too late because the drought is already starting. But actually, we shall be still able to store like the water that is still sort of flowing over here. Oh well. We have it right now. We have some water stored, I guess, so... Oh! But this is not as it's supposed to be. Why is the water... Okay, I messed up something. Alright. Oh, I messed this up quite a bit. Alright, yeah, because all the water was flowing there. And we didn't have any water over here. Oh my, this is just... Everything is so wrong. Alright, so refill that. Close this floodgate. Let's just put everything back in order. Right, working hours. You know what, beavers? Let's go to like 10 hours because I made you work so hard for those couple of days, and then I even just again messed up everything around here, so well. It is what it is. Yeah, we have the water over here. I mean, the drought, it's 7 days long, so that's not that bad, like those 10 days. It could have been even more, so I think 7 days we shall be fine. Also, let's switch our farms and like all the other stuff. Alright. And right, so we have water there, some water stored in here. Okay, we are good. Well, some hiccups again, but that's just how it is. Also, I can see over here I shall plant more oaks. Very good. The flow down paused with the automation, great to see that as well. Let's see these oaks, 80% ready actually, that's really good, so we should be able to start chopping down these pretty soon. Very well, how are our wind turbines? 130 power, doing pretty good. We could even maybe run the gear workshop actually, let's try that, let's remove the automation. Although as I'm saying, the wind turbines just stopped, so yeah, this is like the wind mechanic in the game. Right now they are producing nothing because there's just no wind blowing. And then it will like start again. We don't know when, just random, really. Also, let's go back to 16 working hours. We had a vacation day, and now we need to keep building again. So finish the holding post. And I feel like what we should start planning next is the bed-tide diversion system for the water source over here. So I'm sort of thinking like getting levees all the way up there so that we can push the bed water up. I would like to get probably the fill valve at this point. This requires planks and metal, and as we are already collecting the scrap metal, we shall be able to unlock the smelter soon and start producing some metal. So I will wait to finish this with the valve and then build more levees on top. But still, we can like continue sort of raising the terrain over here so that the bed water shall like race to this lever and flow here through this tunnel and yeah, into the bed water crater out of the map eventually. So we need to like block that. Yeah, and I think that shall work. Alright, and over here we will need to probably do that as well. Right, so something like that, then we will finish it and close it over here. Now we need to get there obviously, so we will need some platforms again, and probably let's go back around here. Can get those stairs up. Oh no, actually we need to go higher. It's connected with the path so the beavers can get there, and then we shall get down. Alright, so this is going to take a while. This is going to be, I suppose, another long-term project, and let's just put everything on the lowest priority for now. Like, seeing how we are not getting any bed tides, I guess if I focused on this, we could have even get this built before the first bed tide. I don't know, I was just really expecting to get the bed tide in like cycle 4, and if not 4 then 5 for sure, but that's just not happening, so that's fine. Also looking at these small tanks, and that we have actually 3 medium tanks already, I'm going to just demolish these. We can use the logs for other construction. Let's do that, and now we have water storage capacity of like almost 1000 water. We shall also probably remove these. Yeah, let's like empty and remove those eventually. Maybe we could prepare another water pump as well to be used during the temperate season. And let's refill our bottom reservoir. Alright. Looking back at our bed tide diversion setup over here, we still need to actually raise the terrain with levees like so. Because right now, like, we could store the water up to this level, but we still need to think about the bed water, right? So we will need to open these floodgates, let the bed water flow out. So we need to still rebuild these floodgates with double floodgates again and raise the terrain with levees. So let's also prepare that. Now they will not be able to reach that, right? Yeah. Okay, let me try like pushing it down. Okay, good. Alright, so now we can pick up everything and rebuild those floodgates. Very nice. We are having like so many resources. I'm just looking like 170 logs, 132 planks, 17 gears, even like 98 scrap metal. So the scavenger on top of this is doing a really good job. even though he needs to travel so far away. And alright, the hauling post is ready as well, so we can have a look at the hauler. Carrying nothing for now, but what was he carrying all the way there? I wonder. Well, now he's carrying a log into our log storage, so he is helping the lumberjacks. Alright, good for you, good for our lumberjacks. And that's how the haulers work in principle. Well then, should we start the metal production? 300 science is needed. Then I guess no, because we do not have the science. Maybe we could boost the inventors a little bit. Alright, let me pause a couple of lumbermen. Speaking about having so many planks and stuff, let's just pause a couple. Also, let's maybe pause the power wheel. We will keep running just on the power generated by the wind turbines, so this will get paused from time to time, but that's alright. Let's try doing that, and let's try getting more inventors in here. Now we have less builders though. Well, should I expand the population? Yeah, I guess. I was sort of planning having a triple lodge in this spot. It sort of fits perfectly, but this is 250 science. I don't know if I want to use that. Maybe I don't know. Let's just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. With the triple lodge though, I want to pause a couple of the small lodges, because this will give us place for 9 more beavers, and then we could get 9 baby beavers at the same time, and they would sort of grow up at the same time, die at the same time. And to me it sort of feels weird to play with in the early game when we would suddenly have 9 more beavers, and then they would suddenly all die at the same time. It feels a bit strange to play with and manage the workers. Alright, we might even get a couple more shrubs. Sort of like having all the lodges covered by all sort of decorations. The yellow squares kind of indicate where the well-being is spread, so I'm going to get 1 shrub there so that we can cover these 2 lodges. And then let's maybe have 1 in the back. And for these we can have 1 in the back over there. We're missing water again down in our reservoir, so let's flush this. And actually for now maybe let's even pause the last water pump, because I failed to store enough of water in our reservoir, so let's do that. We shall be fine for 1 day to survive on the water storage. Alright, triple lodge is ready just in time for the night, and we have just 4 empty beds because these are paused obviously. And the drought ended, cycle 6 begins. Our shrubs are ready, so every beaver now every night when they come to their homes to sleep, they will get the well-being boost over here, aesthetics, shrub, everyone is being covered with that, so that's really good. With the new cycle beginning, that's pretty good time to stop the video. So our pumps are ready again, we expanded the water storage, shall be ready for even longer droughts. I suppose even the first bed tide, hopefully that can happen next time. I would still like to see the map and the apocalypse of the bed tide. Right, we need to finish those floodgates of course, so that we can divert the bed water. And yeah, maybe something to do with the scrap metal, those smelters. So overall we are doing pretty good, I would say. Obviously some hiccups on the way, I just always mess something up. Luckily the beavers are forgiving, so that's it. Thank you for watching, have a great day and goodbye.